Hey, I've got my friend Mike from Dirt Perfect here today, and Mike brought his old 855 John Deere.
My pride and joy.
We decided we might do a little comparison and talk about some of the differences that have happened since 1986 to these tractors. Let's get started. $855 John Deere. It's an antique.
Not totally, Tim. This is what they call the 55 family series.
Right.
They made a 655, 755, 855, and 955. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the 655 was 16 horse, and the 955 was about 32 horse. I think they may have went up to 34 on certain years.
Could be. I saw that the 655 was 10 PTO horsepower.
And I have one of those jewels. and I will vouch, it's probably only 10 PTO horse. It's not much more than a glorified lawnmower. But to me, and this is just my opinion, this 55 series compact tractor, I think, was what I would consider the first modern compact tractor. It's the one that really started the whole trend and phase. It was a usable, user-friendly piece of equipment.
It was the first hydrostatic one that Deere had. The 50 series is what the first exposure I had was the same era. But
yes.
It was the gear drive version.
Very similar frame. The drivetrain was the big difference.
Yeah, correct. And it didn't have an independent PTO, whereas the hydrostat version, the 55, does have an independent PTO.
That is correct. But I was introduced to these tractors whenever I was about 12 years old. My grandparents bought a 655, and that's kind of what I started my excavating business with, to be honest with you.
No kidding.
Yes, that is a true story. Whenever I was probably 12 or 13, they bought that. I started picking up, I was mowing yards with it. We had a grader blade and a box blade, so I was fixing driveways and plowing snow, and I built a dump trailer for it. I pulled the dump trailer with it. I did things with that tractor it was never, ever intended to do. But that's where I got my start in the excavating business, and it just kind of kept growing from there.
You know, that's actually a fascinating question. I didn't even really kind of realize we were going to talk about in this episode, but I'm glad you brought it up, because we get this question all the time, is how can I use my little tractor for business? How can I... You're saying you start, I mean, you should look at Dirt Perfect's channel. I mean, it's huge excavation now, and the experience that you have, the knowledge that you have is amazing. Make sure you go check it out. But you started all that with a 655
John Deere. My grandparents bought it, and that's where I got my first taste of business, my first taste of excavating. I don't know if I should throw a dollar amount out here, but if I told you how much money I made with that little tractor, by the time I graduated high school, it surprised a lot of people.
Enough to pay for that college that you didn't need.
I wouldn't say I didn't need, but I didn't take advantage of. Let's put it that way. So I learned a few things the hard way. But yes, that is a 100% true story. There's a lot of people that vouch for that. And between mowing grass, grading driveways, plowing snow, hauling mulch, digging post holes, I had the little dump trailer. I did landscaping. Between the ages of 12 and probably 18, I think I put 2,700 hours on that tractor. So, yeah.
That's a great story.
And I still have it today. I still use it today.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
You should have brought that one.
I know. There's always so much room on the trailer, Tim.
Okay. So this machine's bigger than that. This is 24, 25 horsepower.
Yeah. This is an 855. It's two sizes bigger, correct.
Okay.
And I think the 755 and the 855 were the most popular sizes out of the 755. They only made the 655 for 4 years.
Yeah. That's what
and then it fell away because it was a little too small.
Now, I had no idea. I looked this up last night. They made this one from 1986 all the way to 1998.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Tim, it was a popular tractor. It was a very popular tractor. And I think there's some reasons for that. And one of them, it was very dependable. These were very, very dependable tractors. And they were so simple. I mean, if you guys watch my channel, I have videos of my 9-year-old daughter hopping on this thing and driving it just like an RC car. I mean, they're very user-friendly. They're very simple. They're very robust. They're very well built. They just had a good thing, and they kept going with it for a change.
Now, these were the Yanmar tractors.
That is correct.
This is exclusively Yanmar, except for the hood and stuff. I mean, which makes it look like a Deere. And that changed. It started changing just after the year 2000 when, the 1 Series was a not a Yanmar tractor. It still has a Yanmar engine, but it's not fully Yanmar.
You're much more diverse in the newer ones than me, but that sounds correct.
But these were pure Yanmar, and I know my dad just loved his 750. What are some features of this tractor, or just something that that you like about it?
The thing I love about this tractor is over the new modern tractors is probably two things. One is the hydrostat. It's all mechanical hydrostat. There's no sensors, there's no electronics, there's no nothing. So if you push that thing down a little bit, it goes
a little bit.
Vice versa the other way. What I've personally found with a lot of the newer tractors and the electric over hydraulic is you lose the feel.
Yep.
Like if I'm pulling something with this tractor and I feel resistance, that pedal becomes harder to pull. So
Yes.
I can judge that as an operator.
Now, to translate that a little bit to the newer, it's the 3 and 4 series, the 3R and 4M and R series that have this, what'd you call it, electric over hydraulic?
Yeah, electric
is
over
kind of how you
hydraulic.
refer to it. And so the pedal feels different. When you push the pedal, there's not a direct response. The hydrostat doesn't push
Whenever
back
you push
at
the pedal, you change the resistance on a potentiometer, which in return changes the position of a valve. So you're basically driving by wire. Where
Yeah.
this here, I push on a linkage and it changes the position of the valve.
So the 1 series, the 2 series, and the 3E still have this same approach. I'm not saying that the hydrostat's any better on them than this one, but it's still the same mechanical approach.
Yeah, and now there is a few disadvantages of it, Tim. And one of them is you got to keep this adjusted or your tractor will creep forward or backwards.
Okay.
And that's a little bit of an issue on these.
Yep.
2 is you eliminate yourself options. Like some of these newer tractors, you can control the throttle with the pedal and stuff like that. You don't have any of those options on this. You do have an old school, I call it mechanical cruise control, but you're just basically locking the pedal in place and hoping for the best. So you limit some options, and it does take more effort to push the pedal. But this is my favorite hydrostat. I've drove thousands of tractors. This is my favorite hydrostat setup. No stall control. You can give her all she's got. Love this hydrostat setup. The second one is the operator station and the controls. I mean, hop up there and see what you think, Tim, but everything seems like it needs to be. You got throttle here, got PTO here, and you got up and down over here.
Got mechanical PTO.
It is mechanical PTO.
Yeah, this 3-point position control over here. And look at this, a little homemade SCV.
That's definitely not factory, but yeah.
Yeah, and it does. It feels quite comfortable. It doesn't have a tilt steering wheel, but doesn't really need it.
And the other thing is, it's not
seat's not necessarily.
Yeah, you've definitely found a shortcoming there. And actually, I think that seat's off my old Ranger. I don't think it's a John Deere seat. Sometimes we just have to do what we have to do, Tim. But the other thing, and we talked about this a little bit, it's not as big a deal today, but this has a true Class 1 PT or a 3-point hitch on it.
Yeah.
So back in the day, Grapple had an old 8-in grater blade. It fit right on this tractor.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have a special compact attachment. Mm-hmm. Today, that's not as big a deal as what it used to be.
Yeah, now I will say that even on the 1 series, it's a full Category 1 hitch. The only, they call it a limited Category 1, and limited only means one thing, and that's that it doesn't lift as high.
It lifts as high.
So you'll see that our 3-point hitch equipment is all Category 1. We use a quick hitch or not, but it's still Category 1. It just doesn't lift
quite
as high. And we even saw that on the old 750 and 770 that Dad had.
Yep.
Because of these small ag tires here, it didn't lift very high either. So,
but I've probably got close to 10,000 hours on this series of tractors. I just find them comfortable and easy to run, well balanced, just good durable machines. They're not a Cadillac. They're not for everybody, but I've had excellent luck with them. If I had the choice to buy a 1998 955 with a loader on or a brand new one today, I'd take the old one in a heartbeat. I really would. I know you're going to try to change my mind here, but
I wonder if we can sell him a new tractor today.
You got enough discount codes? I might.
Yeah, coupon code TTWT, buddy.
So
no, this is it power steering?
Yes, it is power steering.
Okay.
So it's just simple.
Yeah, it's.
I know the new John Deeres today are also very simple, but I don't know how you can make this any simpler than what it is.
Well, this one's in great condition too. You've done a good job of taking care of it, and it's really in good shape.
I think we estimated that the hour meter on this one's not right. It's been changed a few times. And if I had to guess, this tractor's probably got about 6,000 hours on it.
Not 241.
No, that's in the last year and a half. So,
Well, let's take it for a spin.
let's do it. Fire it up. I think I got the better end of this deal with the cab.
This feels like a big tractor. It's real long in the hood. I should have put the loader on that. It's real light in the front.
It's fine. I have to admit, I like the cab out here.
Yeah, the cab's nice, and we don't even have the back on. I can't put the vinyl on the back with the backhoe
on there?
But I should strip that backhoe off. Yeah, the cab's amazing. It takes the chill off.
It does. Just blocking that wind does a good job.
Yeah, it does. This is a nice machine. It feels bigger than that machine.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but I don't know. It just
Horsepower-wise, they're about the same, but it just feels, I think it's heavier.
feels more like a tractor.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I have to ask, what'd you think after driving the hot rod there, Tim?
I need one. How much you take for this one right now?
Well, it may be for sale, but it's not for sale yet. But I will have to say, on the contrary, first time I drove one of the new series, and they made some changes that I'm pretty impressed with just by quickly jumping in there. I don't have a lot of time on them, but definitely got my attention.
Yeah, I think we actually need to come back with another episode and see if we can put this guy to work.
I believe so. I'd like to see, we determined they're about the same engine horsepower.
Yeah.
So are they the same torque? Do they have the same performance? Those are all good questions. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see if we can come up with something to kind of maybe test that theory a little bit.
Yeah, we'll look through the attachment yard and see if we can find something that you think would be fun to operate on it. And we'll
Anything
get
that
back
anything
going.
that attaches to the back, I'm fair game.
You know, I think I've seen these, the 655, 755, 850. I think I've seen them somewhere around in the $6,500 range. And what I find is that that's a huge amount of money for something so old.
You are correct. This one here is not worth that much because it's the two-wheel drive.
Okay.
This is probably a $2,500, maybe $3,000 tractor on a good day. But if you find one of these in good condition, it's four-wheel drive with a loader, you're still probably talking 10 grand.
That's what's amazing. These machines hold their value for a long time.
Yep.
And this is just as good as a new one if you're willing to do just a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of repair work.
One thing I do want to point out though is you have one feature that I would love to have, and I do have a belly mount mower for this, and the reason why it's not on there is because it is a pain in the butt to get out from underneath it. So the new, is it called iMat?
Auto Connect.
That was a huge upgrade, and I will not deny that fact. Huge upgrade.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
Dirt Perfect, check it out. We're coming back with another episode where we're actually going to do something useful. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. I don't know what we can do the most with. I mean, there's a flail, there's a power rake over there.
Yeah, I used to pull an 8-foot with that.
8-foot power rake?
Do you still have the small stump grinder?
Yeah.
You have a stump,
It's
though.
inside. I've got two stumps.
Well, don't let me put you out, Tim.
Lots of stumps around
If you don't have
Yeah,
it,
we got little stumps over there, don't we? That would be perfect.